We're set to leave Nigeria now. Let's move over to another interesting showpiece, is what I call it. Well, just over a week after the Citizens Coalition for Change (CCC) legislators were voted back into Parliament, it seems drama couldn't wait to unfold. The CCC MPs bulldozed their way past security officers who were trying to deny them entry into the building as they sought to implement Speaker of the National Assembly Jacob Mudenda's decision to ban the newly re-elected legislators for wearing yellow ties.
Yellow ties in particular. You may be wondering why it's causing a lot of controversy in the country. Well, the ties are synonymous. That's the color yellow. Is synonymous with CCC's theme color, but did not bear the party logo. Now, that's we're talking about the ties that were worn on that day, and therefore they do not qualify as party regalia as defined in the standing rules and orders. Now, Speaker of Parliament Jacob Mudenda had on Tuesday ruled against the wearing of yellow ties, giving a disputed argument that it was a party color. Joining us from Harare to shed more light on this issue is CCC Deputy Spokesperson himself. We're talking about Ostalos Siziba. Many thanks for joining the program once again, Ostalos. Now, is there a gazetted law, a specific one, that prohibits wearing of colors associated with a political party in the Zimbabwean parliament? Because every party has their own specific colors. If that were to happen, what clothing can anybody wear?
Thank you very much for having me. I salute fellow applicants for the great work that is happening to democratize our entire continent. The Citizens Coalition for Change was recently inaugurated into the Parliament, 8th Parliament of Zimbabwe, to represent the majority of dejected people of Zimbabwe. And of course, the Speaker of Parliament, who is a member of Zanu-PF, wanted to make a decree that we can't wear our yellow ties, assuming that it's a party regalia. The law is very simple, that no one can wear political party regalia in Parliament, not party colors, as it were, because every color is part and parcel of a certain political party, thereby assuming that people should come to Parliament naked, because every cloth, whether it's black, is white, it's blue, red, the dominant colors are all colors that belong to certain political party registered in law by this country. Thereby, that's why we rejected the decision by the Speaker in terms of the illegal, incoherence, and of course that is ultra vires the provisions of the Constitution and the electoral law, and of course the rules and order that govern Parliament. And of course, on the basis that it is a partisan agenda whose intention and agenda is to try and thwart the democratic movement, the Citizens Coalition for Change, and advance Zanu-PF's agenda to create a de facto one-party state.
Well, some people are arguing that the attack was on the very essence of the CCC and had nothing to do with ties. Why do you think that is so? Could it be because CCC is seen to have taken charge of the by-elections?
Of course, if you remember the conversation we had, and the conversation what was it, the entire party politics, ZANU had invested more than 50 million in these elections with the intention to get the majority of seats in Parliament. In their own words, they were targeting to get at least 15 seats and the rest going to their puppet movement for democratic change. So it came out as a shocker that one were able to pull out thousands of people in our political rallies, and of course that we then managed to come up with a super majority in Parliament. A lot of research was done by members of the Central Intelligence to try and find out the possibility of a Zanu-PF victory. And all the reports proved to ZANU that it was not going to win the election, the by-election. So the issue that is happening is that Zanu-PF, in particular, the President Nelson, the President of Zanu-PF, Emmerson Mnangagwa, has been, since independence, been pushing the agenda of a one-party state and decimation of a possible alternative emerging in the Zimbabwean party politics. So the decisions by the Speaker is part and parcel of a broader national agenda by Emmerson Mnangagwa himself to try and create a one-party state. And of course, the Speaker has been reduced into one that is being a fascist Speaker, and we have rejected it of course, armed by the political capacity and mandate given to us by the people, but also in terms of the law of this country, because we're a constitutional democracy. Despite bastardization and abuse of the law, we continue using the theater of the court as part and parcel of our struggle to advance the cause of the ordinary people in this country.
Now, Ostalos, you're clearly wearing the color yellow as we speak. Now, there's a school of thought that believes and thinks that there should be an implication to all of this. Now, looking at the legal framework, is the CCC taking any legal action against the event of Wednesday? Why and what will it be?
Of course, we applied the multi-pronged strategy to engage with Parliament. The first one is the legal route, which is exhausting internal remedies, has got platforms of seeking redress as informed by the principle of natural justice, which is to hear the other side, and of course to make sure that the principle of nemo judex in sua causa applies, wherein we cannot allow the speaker also to be judge in matters that he is an interested party to because he's a member of Zanu-PF. So we used that internal exhausting internal remedies in Parliament. And of course, there was a panel set by Parliament to ensure that they look into the decree by the Speaker with the intention, of course, to reverse it. Secondly was obviously to use our political ammunition, which is to make sure that we disobey any unjust decree, because it is ultra via the provision of the Constitution, which is the Supreme Court, which is the supreme law of the land. And any law that can come that it touches particularly on freedom of assembly, association, of course, freedom of conscience and freedom of being is illegal and, of course, unconstitutional. So we also use our political ammunition where our members of Parliament to make it very clear that we're not going to take this part. We've got a mandate from the people to come and craft laws in Parliament and, of course, to hold the executive to account. The intention and agenda by Zanu is to make sure that they render Parliament dysfunctional, to make sure that the Parliament does not execute its constitutional mandate, which is to hold the executive to account, and state institutions, which are central to scandalous corruption revelations that are happening. You know of our action in the Public Accounts Committee, where we are able to expose the regime's corrupt scandals leading to the legal recall of our MP. So they know we are back and we mean business. And this time, we are back with vigor and vitality, with the ability and capacity to lead with distinction and make sure that Parliament gets its constitutional teeth to bite and execute its mandate as per the details of the law.
All right. Well, you've spoken so well, I must say, Ostalos Sisiba, and you've been able to break it down, looking at the fact that this is happening and coming at the back heel of the fact that you've also won the by-elections in terms of the majority of the votes. But you know what? Let's quickly touch base with you. Finally, very briefly, please. Let's look at the man, Jacob Francis Mudenda. Do you think his actions are as a result of the fact that he is a member of Zanu-PF?
Of course, Mudenda is a member of Zanu-PF. Whatever he's doing is to advance the cause of Zanu-PF, and it's very sad because choosing this path will create instability and, of course, further mistrust by the people of Zimbabwe, which is something that we think should be able to be addressed, because Parliament is a critical institution in terms of course, having rule of law in this country, and of course to make sure that democracy thrives. And we don't think that Zanu-PF has any out of commitment to making sure that we strengthen such institutions and such arms of government like Parliament.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking with us. CCC Deputy Spokesperson who joined us, Ostalos Sisiba, here on Breakfast Central. Truly appreciate.
Thank you very much.